What was that all
Hey,
about?
hey, what was that? I was like, I thought I saw a new person right there. It's like I was saying, Professor. Oh, wait, there you are. It's Kevin.
We, how we doing?
Oh, we're doing fine. How
Yeah,
are you doing? Welcome back to the Vinny Mac Show.
yeah.
Yes, we took as always, a teeny bit of a hiatus, but we are back enjoying what we're going to give you as entertainment today, or try to.
As
So,
little as possible.
as little as possible, just little bit of possible. I just wanted to let everybody know, yes, the dumb virus is still out there,
Mm,
but at the time of taping, Kevin and I, we know a whole bunch of people. We already took our shots
we gotta.
before.
We always take our shots.
Yeah, we already take our shots before the vaccine even came to America. As a matter of fact, I was very fortunate to fly over to England and grab some.
I am. I just used. I just used Pine Sol and bleach and ammonia. I got mustard gas just running through these veins right now. Now, yeah,
Uh,
England actually has the virus. Everywhere has the virus, but the vaccines
the
or vaccinations
vaccine,
are on their way. There's three
yes.
of them. I don't know which one to get.
I don't know either.
It's like a buffet line.
Yeah.
They go said, "You want the what, column one, column B, column C?" Yeah.
But whichever virus works, we hope it works for everybody throughout the whole entire world. Get back to normal so we can all do the things we love to do.
which is which is spend all day in bed and
Yeah.
never leave the house.
Ah.
No, I'll go. I mean, I have a feeling once this pandemic is over, there's going to
Uh-huh.
be just parties everywhere.
Oh my
It's going to be like
goodness.
the end of World War II. You're going to be
Yes.
in Times Square, sailors kissing women, like D
D-Day.
Day, and only this will be V Day, victory with vaccination.
Victory, vaccinations, VB Day.
Now back, gosh, I remember getting vaccinated as a kid. I remember
Uh-huh.
smallpox. They were still giving,
Oh,
and from what I've
ooh.
read about smallpox as a kid, I thought it was the scariest thing in the world, and I was
Uh-huh.
so terrified to get. Said, even with or without the vaccine, you probably won't get smallpox. This
Ooh.
is back when I was a kid. But then, but then there's all these other vaccinations came around. There was German measles, rubella.
Mhm.
There was measles, mumps, and I got them all because I
Oh,
believe in vaccinations. Bring
okay.
me. I'm not one of those people who put my trust in witch doctors and seances. I said, bring me the medicine, bring me the doctors, bring me the man who or woman who went to school to cure people. The old joke was there are no, there are no atheists in foxholes. People
Uh-huh.
pray to God when they're being shot at anymore.
Yes, yes.
It used to be a lot of doctors were Jewish,
Uh-huh.
and they still are. But I mean, in the day, and a lot of kings who weren't very good to Jews would be on their deathbeds and
Hmm.
say, "I don't care. Send away the bishop. Send away. Send me my Jewish doctor." And there were no anti-Semites on deathbeds. So yeah, so I'm looking for, and actually the vaccination. I mean, three of them, and there's
Yes.
supposedly you have a over 90% chance
Hmm.
of winning, which defeating. So I think of a 1, 2, 3 punch
Yes.
all over the world
Yes.
could put this to an end. We
Hmm.
will still have it for a while,
Yeah.
but I got to tell you something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There was a I just read this is that in the 1300s there was the Black Plague. That was terrible.
Yes.
Killed almost everyone in England,
Hmm.
and it was all and it was caused by fleas uh, biting rats who bit us, and
Hmm.
then or about people, and then everyone died. So what happened was they there are a lot of theories. There were no vaccinations those days.
Hmm.
They don't even know how it stopped. They said the fire of London destroyed all
Oh.
the rest, or maybe everyone died that should have died, that was infected, died,
Hmm.
and all those living were the people stronger antibodies or whatever. And what happened was, and I'm not kidding you, this is
Uh-huh.
1300s.
Okay.
We're in 2020 right now. If
Right.
you get bit by a rat, they
Uh-huh.
still treat you for that disease that you could have gotten 700 years ago. In other
What?
words, that disease is not gone. It's
What?
still around, but you don't. But chances are you could get fixed with it.
Uh-huh.
You couldn't get fixed with it 700 years ago. So I think Dr. Fauci said that the coronavirus will always be. They actually claim it has been around for a while, but not a whole lot of people had it.
Right.
But now, all it takes is one great plague or infection vehicle to propel it into everyone getting it. And 1918 during there was that flu is still on, the Spanish flu.
Yeah, Spanish flu.
So
yeah,
and people
yeah.
still, in fact, every time you get a flu shot every year, there's a bit of all these flus that we've had all these years. So all I'm telling, and I actually was on another show earlier today, and I ended the show with this: wash your hands, wear your mask, do it. Be careful. Everyone on their deathbed, and this is true. Said and like this is going to be the worst time. 3,000 people have died in the last day. They said that everyone on everyone's careless and they don't wear their mask and everything. And I said everyone on their deathbed said, I wish I was a little bit more careful. So I'm telling all of you and both of us as a service to the public service of the Vinny Mac Show, be careful and
Please be careful.
still have fun, but please be careful.
Please be careful. Yes.
Don't get sick.
If Governor Northam
Yeah.
can get it and he's wearing a mask and everything, Governor Blackface can get it. Anybody can get it.
Governor Jolson.
Governor Jolson.
Let me tell you, I'm glad you mentioned that because people are giving the White House a hard time. Everyone in the White House has gotten coronavirus. Pretty much everyone you've ever heard of.
Yes.
Now Rudy Giuliani has it.
Yes.
Donald Trump had it. All his family got it.
Yep.
All the people in the. So anyway, only and I have to be very serious about this. I felt they were very reckless about this, not wearing masks, telling people, making fun of people wearing masks, and then they get it, and they didn't seem to care that other people got it. So which made me, I think if it weren't for the coronavirus, I think Trump would have gotten a second term.
Yeah, definitely.
But these things come out of nowhere, and he's not getting a second term, and as a result, maybe it seems pretty. It seems pretty. It's a real Hail Mary pass if he gets a term. But anyway, he's not. But I'm telling people that if he could be reckless with his own family and friends, he could be. If the president of the United States could get a disease, so can you.
That's
That's
right.
And I actually mentioned this that I mean George H.W. Bush, he got Parkinson's. There's no cure for Parkinson's, and he died of it. Ronald Reagan got Alzheimer's. Stuff grandparents get. He got it. The president of the United States, you think he would have some sort of not get it? He got it. Bill Clinton, heart problems.
Yeah. I'm surprised Bill Clinton isn't rolling in a wheelchair right now.
Dick Cheney has a pacemaker. These guys. If these guys can get these diseases, so can you. But on a better note, Jimmy Carter when he was president actually got hemorrhoids, and Jimmy Carter is now 96 years old, and he's still alive. So hemorrhoids will not kill you. That we figured out. If the president can get him, he can still live to be 96 years old.
That's right. Oh, Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter ate them peanuts.
Maybe the peanuts. But there must be something in the peanuts.
But yeah, that is so true. But everybody, we're gonna get out of this. Don't worry. I have confidence. The world will be once again back to its regular self, and we'll all see each other again. I guarantee it. But right now, you know what? I actually did some traveling.
Yes.
I did some good traveling.
So you're the guy.
I'm the guy.
He had the plane all to himself.
Yes.
Nobody wanted to be going there.
Private plane.
Just to spite everybody, he sat in the middle seat of the plane. I can sit in the middle seat. There's no one on either side.
Yeah, nobody's like, oh, hey. But I went up to see a good friend of mine up in Maine, and sometimes he actually watches this program.
I don't believe you.
Oh.
I don't believe you. Well, I do believe you went to Maine. I don't believe you have a good friend. No, you went to Maine.
Yes. So I went to Maine, had a great time, and we got a chance to go to the Maine countryside, have
The
a little
Maine
fun.
part of Maine.
The main part of Maine. And we
I've
went.
never been to Maine.
It's nice.
Have you ever been to Maine?
I've been there a few times.
Oh, okay. So you know the
Yeah.
place.
Oh, yeah,
You know the law. You know the lay of the land.
Yeah, I know the lay of the land. Thanks to my friend, she actually knows everything about Maine. She used to be a traveling nurse too.
Okay.
So she had to travel from like central Maine up to northern Maine and to
Mhm.
western Maine and yeah, do
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Remember the Maine.
Remember the Maine. And the main thing is
Now the Maine was the famous battleship
battleship,
that,
yes.
that sunk in the Spanish American War.
Yes.
And so the Maine. So what did you do there? I mean, what was there to do? What's there to do
Well,
anywhere with this in 2020? What did you do?
not much, I just sat there like a statue. But
Do that at home.
yeah, I stayed at home. But unlike the statues outside, I'm not getting torn down.
Oh,
Gee whiz, people, stop being reckless.
yeah. Those statues, yeah, the Monument Avenue, they tore down all those Confederate statues, except for, and one is on its way out,
Yeah.
and it's on the cover of National Geographic.
Uh,
And so Richmond, the city we live in, is on the cover of National Geographic.
okay.
It's not Indonesia or South Africa or the Northern Lights that they usually have. It's Richmond, Virginia.
It's Richmond.
And I haven't read. I gotta get this new issue of National Geographic because I haven't really read National Geographic since I outgrew the naked natives. That was the closest thing we had to Playboy when we were 10 years old. If I get that issue, I hope they have at least a centerfold of those. Those beautiful women. The you bangy women with the big chips,
big
chips in their lips,
chips in lips, big rings.
the rings on their,
Yeah, see,
and then they didn't wear shirts. So.
You know what? You know the happiest guy of the whole entire company
What?
is the photographer.
Yeah,
The photographer's always happy.
I was actually photographed once for National Geographic when I was living in Ireland. They said, "Here's this is Dublin, and here's a bar. Everyone here pretend you have fun." And we like held up our drinks, and then when it was all over, I was smart not to say anything. I said to the photographer, I said, "When is this going to be on?" And he goes, "You're American? I was trying to get local color here, and I thought you were." Yeah, you're a tourist? And I said, yeah, I live here, but I mean, at the time I live here, but I'm not from Ireland. And so I don't know. I never saw it. National Geographic. Someone usually someone will see something and tell me that they saw me, like if I'm an extra in a movie and I didn't see the movie yet. They say, I saw you walk by this camera. So I got to see that movie. And then sometimes I'll ask them, or was I in the movie? So I didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
But then I'll go see it and say, there I am. I'm the guy wearing the hat way like 12 people away.
12th row, way up there. There he is, way up there.
So let's get back to Maine.
Sure.
So what? Okay. What's the local cuisine like? What did you eat there?
Most of the time when I go up to Maine, I eat lobster. I love lobster, but unfortunately, it's wasn't lobster season. But we're still trying to get some lobster somewhere.
You got a canned lobster?
Yeah, open it up. There's a claw. Hey,
I don't think I've ever eaten lobster. I've never eaten where they showed me the lobster.
Yes, I have done that.
Does it taste better when you do that?
I mean, that's a good question. It seems like to me it does. Fresh off the boat, it's like, here you go. You want this lobster? And then the lobster's trying to pinch you and grab you. It's like, get out of here, lobster. So it tastes real good.
There's an old joke that lobster's made for life, and when you eat a lobster, when you eat a lobster, you're actually breaking up a beautiful romance between the two lobsters.
Oh.
It says, well, bring me two then. So they both die together. Lobsters are very I also heard about lobsters that
Mhm.
are actually kind of angry, mean
They are.
animals. So
Yes.
people who've ever been on the bad end of a lobster has no problem
No, they have no problems
picking
at
that
all.
one.
Trust me when I say this, you don't want to get pinched by a lobster.
Oh no, no.
Uh,
Then I've heard people tell me about lobster that it's that don't think of it as seafood. Think of it as a giant bug. But it actually looks like a bug that's been in a
yeah.
microscope. When you see those bugs in microscopes, they look like lobsters. So
Yes.
with pinchers and
Yes.
exoskeletons and everything. So people get the idea that seafood is all about lobster and crab and stuff, but that's
hmm
really, I mean, no, fish. That is seafood. Fish is all about that. Again, no, fish is like
Yes.
salmon and trout
Oh, love it.
and tuna and stuff,
Love
and
it.
that's
Love it.
actually good for you. I'm not so sure lobster and crab and shrimp
Yeah,
are all
they're
that, but they
really
taste
not,
good.
but they
So
taste good. And crustaceans, and they're not supposed to eat those, but we eat them
we eat them.
anyway. Yeah.
Well, I think everything that's ever been eaten, sadly, is the remnants of a famine. People were starving,
Ah,
and people
yes.
said, "Oh, I don't want to eat the lobster. Do you?" And then they ate it. Oh, it's pretty good,
Yeah, it's pretty good.
actually.
See, that kind of reminds me. It's like
Yeah.
in Ireland when they had the potato famine.
Mm.
I don't know what they could have eaten.
No, no. They. Well, I mean, you can always kind of eat meat, but the type of meat you can't. People eat.
Mm.
People will eat like birds and I mean
Oh.
like robins and stuff and
Uh-huh.
sparrows, whatever's going on. Rats. I mean, people
Uh-huh.
have known to eat crazy bugs.
Uh-huh.
There are people in prisons have eaten stuff. I mean, people like I'm not talking about modern prisons, but stuff like in Papillon and stuff like that, Devil's Island when they're
Oh.
starving and stuff. But I mean, people will. China, for example,
Yes.
China has more than a billion people. They've always had
Yes.
a lot of people,
Yes.
and they've always had every once in a while famines, and
Mm-hmm.
and they don't have enough food to feed everybody. They have to
Yep.
import in the modern day. They have to import a
Oh
lot of their food, but before they
yeah.
just starved, and all these crazy things that come out of China people they would eat like rats and
Mm-hmm.
bugs and bear
Mm-hmm.
claw and what else
Mm-hmm.
all this stuff and somebody said, well, if you're starving, you'd be surprised what you'd eat. I was on a ship once, not a cruise ship, but a like a ferry
uh-huh.
that lasted like 2 days from France to England, I think.
Oh
And
wow.
I no, France to Ireland,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't have any money, and so I saw
Oh.
a half-eaten sandwich in the garbage can,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't eat it, but I looked at it for a long time, and I suddenly realized what how people could be so desperate that they're hungry that they'll eat
Yes.
almost anything.
Oh my goodness.
I said I felt like I said, I'm not a
Oh.
savage. I'm not going to eat out of a garbage can, not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah. As it turned out, you can spend a long time without food. 2 days is not really all that long. It's not like a hunger strike. Once I got to where I was going, I had money and I
Yeah.
could buy stuff. Yeah.
Oh heck
Buy cheese and crackers and whatever else I eat. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Rachel and I, we went over to a few of the nice Maine restaurants,
Mhm.
um, grabbed some eats,
Yeah.
then just
Yeah.
had some fun. We didn't do much
Yeah.
because the virus,
You talk.
we talked.
That's all I want to do
Yeah,
when I
we
visit
talked.
people.
Yeah.
When I visit people and they don't live in a city, I don't want to, that just most cities in America aren't all that different from another. I mean, you have New York and Chicago and places like that, Washington,
hmm
where you could do a lot of stuff, go to museums and tourism and history and stuff.
Yes.
And so and there
Yes.
is like every city has its history, it's a museum or something. But after you do that, after 1 or 2 days, you're basically just stuck talking to the people you're with.
Yeah.
But if you like the people you're with, then you never run out of things to talk about.
That's true. And
Like
that's
you and me, we
yeah,
never run
we
out of
never
things.
run out of things. My friend up in Maine, we never run out of
Mm,
things. My friend down in Florida, we never run out of things.
mm,
I do run out of things with George.
well,
But
really?
yeah.
He does all the talk.
He does all the talking.
I don't. I never run out of things to say. I just say hello.
Hello, and
And
he keeps on
he
going.
talk. Some people say the same about me.
uh,
So anyway, um, I ran out of things to talk about.
Well, believe it or not, Kevin,
Yeah.
when I came back from Maine, I was on this train for 15 hours.
You were on a train,
Yes.
the main train from Maine. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Now, and you went from, I guess, Maine to Richmond. What's train travel like?
It's all right,
In this
but
during this time, there's a lot. Is there a lot of people on the train?
no,
No.
not at all. But they make you wear your mask the whole entire time on the
Whole
whole
time.
journey, and it sucks.
Yeah.
It's terrible. But
You
that's
can
the
never
rules.
take it off.
Only when you eat or drink.
Only, and so
Yeah.
do a lot of eating and drinking.
You lie, eat, and drink it. And when you sleep, you're stuck there with the mask on, like you're getting ready to rob somebody at night.
I've never slept with my mask on.
Right.
I've never really been in a place where I had to wear a mask and when I'm asleep. I've always either been in my car or in my bedroom, so I
Yeah.
don't really need a mask.
Well, I need a mask.
But yeah, if you're on a train or a bus
Mhm.
or a plane, you would have to wear
You
your
have to wear a
mask all
mask,
the time in
yes.
this day. Yeah. So did you actually you never make friends on a train, do you?
Nah, not
No.
really.
I made friends on buses and planes, but never on a train.
Usually trains.
Trains are a bunch of loners.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't like being bothered.
No.
We don't even like sitting by each other.
No, I mean, I was like 3 or 4 seats away from somebody else most of the time. And then the conductor would come say, "Hey, let me see your ticket."
Yeah.
I did this 3 or 4 times because I was going from Boston all the way down to Richmond. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, you already saw my ticket when I was in New York. You saw my ticket when I was in Philadelphia. Why you need to see it some more?
They put a little piece of paper
Put a
of
little piece of paper.
stuff, but I
Yeah.
never could. I always thought if I could move that from someone who looks
Uh-huh.
like they've been there a while, I could probably get on. But it's never worked out. I think I saw someone do that once years ago, and they didn't get away with it. These conductors are pretty
They're
sharp.
pretty sharp. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. But I did notice
Yeah.
something when I was going
Yeah.
up to Maine
Yeah,
from Richmond to Ashland.
yeah,
They don't usually check your ticket all the time.
yeah. But it's 10 miles.
Yeah, it's only 10 miles, but you can hop on the train and it's like, oh, I'm going to go to Ashland. I'm going to hop off.
You probably hitchhike faster. Yeah.
But what's really funny was the return trip
Yeah.
after I got done seeing my friend. I got off the train after 15 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And guess who is sitting over there at the train station doing a bunch of mess?
Who?
NBC Channel 12.
Oh yeah. And what? And
Yeah.
did they? Now, man in the street. Here we have to say, what do you think?
Yes,
Did they put a
exactly.
microphone in your?
No, it was more. Oh, get this, Kevin.
Yeah.
They asked me to do the interview with Andrew Friedman. I think
Yeah,
that's
the
his
weather
name.
guy.
Not the weather guy, but no, Anthony. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Anthony Friedman. I think his name is.
Yeah. Okay. Sports guy.
No, he's like one of the.
I don't know their
journalists. He's
names.
one of the journalists.
Yeah.
He knows who he is.
Yeah. He watches the show.
Yeah. So basically, we're sitting there like in a almost like in a lounge chair couch.
A Ches.
Yeah.
What were you just exhilarating or something waiting for your ride?
No, I was just getting ready to hop in the car.
Okay.
Then one of the producers came up and says, "Hey, you want to do an interview?"
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have some fun. Let's go outside and do an interview. But of course, I look like a big mess.
Yeah, no one looks good after a 15-hour
Yeah.
ride.
So they got the big NBC 12 desk right here.
Yeah.
Anthony's sitting on one end and I'm
Yeah.
sitting on the other end.
Yeah.
And Anthony says, "We're just going to talk about coronavirus, what you've been
Oh.
doing and everything." So I said, "Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and do it." So we just talking just like you and me right now.
Yeah.
Anthony just started talking and I started talking. Boom, camera started rolling.
Yeah.
And it's like, "Yeah, how was this thing?
Right.
How where did you come from?" And everything.
You do a show with them.
I did.
Now, did you see it yourself on TV?
No, because they're still working things out. But
Oh, when was this? Today?
This was a month ago.
Oh, then
So
I'm sure it's on by now.
it's gotta be. But I had to sign one of them release forms and
Yeah.
everything, and they said it was supposed to use it for partially commercials.
On commercial, okay.
Yeah, or they might use it, I
The-
guess, on NBC 12, I guess, whatever their websites are.
They'll put you on right before the toilet paper commercial.
Yeah.
Before that Pepto Bismol commercial.
Yeah. Oh.
So yeah, I always wonder about that. And so I once was stopped. Oh, times, but never, I think, on the show. I
Mhm.
was once stopped in New York on that guy with the show, the guy who stops people in the street and yells at people.
Oh, Richard Bay?
No,
No.
but I've been on that guy's show, and he would ask you a bunch of questions, and then he'd yell at you and scream at you, wrong, 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 and I think
Oh.
he put it in
Oh.
front of my face, and he started talking to me. I
Uh-huh.
don't remember his name in a moment, and he started talking to me and asking me questions, in his manner. This is before he was famous.
Okay.
And so I didn't know what it was, so I thought I should answer them correctly.
Uh-huh.
And I found out after I answered like two or three questions right, he just went to someone else. Because the joy of his show was not getting people to give the right answer, but to give them
Oh,
wrong
wrong
answer. Yeah.
answer.
So he could yell at them even more. So
Yeah.
I thought it was like Jeopardy. I thought I'd win a prize or some money or something. So
Yeah.
I sort of was answering these questions right, and I usually get questions, simple questions right.
Uh-huh.
So then he moved on to somebody else. So I never got on the show,
Oh.
and then the show became really fancy, and then he had uh, then he had a whole bunch of photographers and people, and
Uh-huh.
every person they talked to, they actually signed. So he actually stuck something in my and asked me a question, but then he didn't hear my answer. He just moved on to somebody else.
Uh-huh.
Then I had to sign a waiver. I never got on the show.
Oh, see.
I think by now someone would have seen it, and I don't watch the show,
Yeah.
but it's on cable, and it's on. I think it was on the internet. Now it's on Netflix or something.
Okay. Well, if you remember that guy's name, let me know
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I have to look him
Well,
up.
you have to be there
Uh-huh.
to. I mean, you just have to run into him. You just
Yeah.
he's usually in a part of Manhattan that's not where all the tourists are, but there probably are some tourists.
Okay.
Like I think I was at the that thin building. What's it called, the iron. Yeah, that
Uh,
iron building or something,
I don't
or
remember.
the
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
or sometimes you're at the Chrysler building,
Yes, the
or
Chrysler Building.
yeah.
Okay.
So I mean one that tourists would be at, but not really. They're not like the Statue of
Yeah.
Liberty or something,
Hmm.
or the Empire State Building where there's a big crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, golly, kind of remind me of Cash Cab. Have you ever?
Cash Cab. Yeah, you don't ask to be on that show. You just show
Yeah,
it.
you just
You
show
just
up.
happen to be on it. Yeah. Candid Camera's the same way.
Candy Camera, yes.
Yeah, they I remember there was Alan Funt. They said we get all these requests to
Uh-huh.
be on Candid Camera. He goes, no, 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 no. You don't request to be on
Oh.
Candid Camera. We will find you.
I heard a rumor.
Yeah,
Did Alan Funt come to Richmond one time? And I don't
might
know if
have.
he did part of an episode of Candy Camera here
Probably did.
originally. Okay.
I tell you what happened was a lot of them were done in the day in New York,
Uh-huh.
and then they were done in the later years in Los Angeles,
Uh-huh.
because I guess that's where all the technology and
Mm-hmm.
the editing and all that stuff was there. But after a while, Alan Funt and then his son Peter Funt did it.
Mm-hmm. Peter Funt.
They were too well identified, and then they
Ah.
had to go places where people didn't recognize them. Because in fact, there's a story about Alan Funt that he was on a plane that
Uh-huh.
had some going through a lot of turbulence, and then they'd have to turn around and go back, and then somebody noticed that Alan Funt was on the plane, and they said, "Is this part of Candid Camera?" And he said, "No, it's not part of Candid Camera. I'm on a plane." It's on its way back. Alan
Oh
Funt.
man, that's
Yeah.
messed up. That's messed up.
And then what else? So yeah, Candid Camera was a. I used to love that show when I was a kid.
Oh
Yeah,
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 good show. Good
and
show.
if you watch it, like you could catch a lot of it on YouTube. You'll see a lot of famous people that were.
Mm-hmm.
Dolly Parton was a regular on it. Fannie Flagg, Woody Allen,
Fanny Flag.
Charles Grodin. A lot of these
Uh-huh.
people got their start on Candid Camera as actors in part of
Uh-huh.
the practical jokes. It's basically practical jokes. The whole
Okay.
show, yeah.
See,
Candid
I
Camera
always thought
talking.
Fanny Flag was a part of the Match Game crew, and now I thought that's how she got
She
her.
was a comedian, still around. She's a comedian,
Uh-huh.
and she was an actress and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then like a lot of these people, they found their niche on certain things, and she found her niche on game shows,
Mm-hmm.
and was very witty and everything. She obviously was very witty. She actually became a novelist, and she
Mm-hmm.
wrote a famous book that made the movie Fried Green Tomatoes.
Yes, fried green tomatoes. Yes.
Yeah, and she actually has a cameo in the movie. You see her, there's no credit, but everyone who knows Match
Yeah.
Game, oh, there's Fanny
Oh, it's
Smith.
Fanny. And what's funny is Dolly Parton is
Yeah.
in that movie.
Fried Green?
I
No,
think no.
no, you're thinking of 9 to 5, I think. Or
Yeah.
no, I know you're thinking of the other one, the one with all the the Southern uh, Steel Magnolias.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah,
Still Magnolias.
yeah, Dolly's in that,
Yes. Okay.
and
I
the
apologize.
oh, it's a, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
The Steel Magnolias.
Still
It's based on
Magnolias.
a play, I think.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, or there's a play like it, and they've made a few versions of it. And yeah, Steel Magnolias is a really fine film. Yeah, I
Mm.
like movies where people talk a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not one to see movies where, like for example, I like the Marx Brothers a lot,
Yes.
and everyone tells me they like Harpo so much, and Harpo
Uh-huh.
is good,
Uh-huh.
but I like jokes, and I
Yeah.
like telling people jokes I heard in movies and stuff. I can't really just do what Harpo does, and,
Yeah.
play the harp and everything,
Yeah.
but what Chico or what Groucho says. So I really like jokes a lot. So
Uh-huh.
I'm more, when I
Yeah,
go
you
to see these
jokey
things,
guy.
I like verbal humor.
Yeah. The Grouchos. I
Yeah,
like to call, even though they're the Marx Brothers, I like to call them the Grouchos.
the Grouchos.
Yeah. But
Oh, I loved Groucho growing up. I still love. I mean, I went my last time trick or treating. I was 12 years old,
uh-huh.
and my best friend growing up was his name was Michael. He was 12 years old. Let's really pull out all the stops. Let's go
Uh-huh.
trick or treat one last time.
Uh-huh.
And we're in the same neighborhood, and let's surprise each other with costumes. And we showed up together. We were both Groucho Marx, which is a very cool costume to do. Groucho, you know what
Uh-huh.
Groucho looks like. And
Yeah.
let me tell you something about Groucho. It doesn't even matter what if you could imitate Groucho Marx and you talk like
Mm-hmm.
him, or you say
Mm-hmm.
something really funny, like Groucho Marx or something. You don't even have to do any of that stuff. You can wear the fake nose and the mustache and the
Yes.
glasses, and
Uh,
everyone thinks you're funny.
yeah.
You could just go. This is this simple. Get a pen
Yeah. Yeah.
and people start laughing because they assume you're going to say something funny. You're Groucho. That is, I heard this is the mark of a great humorist or comedian.
Uh-huh.
Is that if you if you don't even say anything, and as soon as before you even open your mouth or say a few words, people are starting laughing. Then
Yeah.
you're funny before you even get there.
That's right. That
Heard
shows
on a
great
show the other night.
comedy right there.
Sometimes I remember I a guy I went to school with. I forgot his name.
Mm.
This is the point. I forgot his name, and he was saying, "Kevin, it's so great to see you. And you remember when we did this? I don't remember my thing. Do
Oh.
you remember this? Remember that?" And then I'd say, "And you are." And what's your name is, and
Oh.
and he was laughing even more. He goes, you're such a put on artist. You're so hilarious. And then he walked away, and I had to tell my friend, I don't remember that guy. But he evidently remembers me being very funny.
Oh my
So
goodness, see, funny comedy is the best. See,
yeah.
but there are four Marx Brothers,
Hmm.
and we always know Groucho,
Hmm.
Harpo, and the other
Chico.
Chico, and the handsome one.
The
Those,
handsome one was the youngest brother. His name was Zeppo, and he's in the first four movies. And in fact, in one of those movies, I think it's the first one, The Coconuts, he actually plays Groucho's son. But in real life, he was only like I think less than 5 years younger
oh
than him.
my
But
goodness.
Groucho was like an old man, acted like an old man, so
Yeah,
he played.
yeah.
But it was very funny. It's I think it's The Coconuts. And what happened was after four movies, everyone seemed to agree, including Zeppo, that he
Mhm.
was not all that funny. And so then the next few movies they made, there was another guy like that, a romantic lead, a good-looking
Oh,
romantic lead, but he basically played the Zeppo part. But
okay.
he one was Alan Jones, Jack Jones' father.
Uh-huh.
I think Tony Martin is in one of the movies. You know, all these guys, they're but trouble with a lot of these Marx Brothers movies, all of them except for maybe Duck Soup, is that there's
Uh-huh.
not enough Marx Brothers in them. There's all these
Ah,
subplots with people in love and kissing, and
yeah.
where have you been all my that time. let's move on to let's
Yeah.
see the Marx Brothers. But somebody said if you just saw nothing but Marx Brothers, you'd be exhausted.
Huh.
And basically duck soup is exhausting. It's the best one. But yeah. So you like old time movies? Well,
Oh
who else? What
yes,
other old
yes.
time movie? You like the
Um, let's see. Recently, I've been watching. Now we're going from the Grouchos, the Marx Brothers. I've been watching a lot of the Mike Douglas show,
yes,
and with Mo Howard on there.
Mo.
Yes,
Yes, Mo is on a few episodes. I think Soupy Sales and Ted Knight are on those
yes,
ones too.
yes.
And the Mike Douglas shows came out of Philadelphia, and these episodes are from the early '70s, and you see
Mhm.
an old Mo. The Three Stooges pretty much retired at that point,
Yes.
but then it was great to see Mo.
It was great to see Mo.
Yeah. Even though Mo, I think, died in 1977 or no,
Mhm.
1975, I think. He died like the same year, whatever the year he died the same year Larry died. And so they're both gone.
That's right.
There's still talk about them, even in their later years, that they could get a third person to
Yeah.
join them as a new Curly or something. Even though I think the Curly they had was still alive, Curly Joe.
Curly Joe.
And
Yes.
so anyway, tell me about Mike Douglas. What did you see Mo do?
Yes, Mo actually had a pie scene going on with Mike Douglas. But first, Mike Douglas talked about the Three Stooges,
Yeah.
the time with Ted Healy,
Mhm.
and the cast of order between Shemp, Larry, and
Yeah.
Curly. Unfortunately, Curly's passing due to a
Mhm.
heart attack or stroke.
Yeah.
Then Larry, not no,
Then Shemp
Shemp's passing.
Shemp replaced Curly.
Yes, and Shemp replaced
They're all
Curly.
brothers. All Bo, Curly, and Shemp were all brothers.
Yes.
And the only ones they really acknowledged was I think Shemp and Mo were definitely brothers. They looked
Hmm.
similar. Curly didn't look like the other three, but
No.
he was a brother too. And what happened was Curly was the youngest, and Curly was no Shemp was they were hesitant to cast Shemp again
Yes. Hmm.
because they said he looked too much like Mo, but they said we'll get over that.
Yeah, we'll get over
And
that.
that didn't seem to be a problem.
Nah, because in the Ted Healy days, Shemp was the first original third.
Yes,
And then he said, I'm going to go check out this movie.
yes,
And he did the movie. So
yeah.
then Columbia said, you got to bring in another Stooge. And that's when they brought on Curly.
You
So,
know what a stooge is? I mean, you know the Three Stooges,
yeah,
but I had to look it up what a stooge is. I thought it was just a funny guy.
I thought so too.
A stooge is a person that is a straight man or defers to a very funny guy. Now, the original title of
Hmm.
that group was Ted Healy,
Yes.
who was the boss man,
Hmm.
and his three stooges, meaning his three assistants, his three lackeys.
Yeah.
And if you ever see any, and there are movies they made very early on, and the three of them do not have the personalities they had in the short movies that
Right.
everyone knows, where they're slapping each other, everything. They're
Yeah.
basically just they don't even say a whole lot to each other. They just
Hmm.
look funny, and they're there against Ted. Ted Healy's doing all the hitting and everything,
Yes.
not Mo.
Hmm.
So then when they left, they kept the name, which made no sense at all because they're
Yeah.
not stooges for anybody at that point. They're not Ted Healy stooges. They're
Yeah.
just whatever they are. They call
The-
themselves the Three Stooges. They're actually
yeah.
and I got to tell you a funny story about the
Uh,
Three Stooges.
yeah, 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 yeah.
These are personal stories. One was my sister, her husband. Her husband. Um, she married her husband because she said, "You know why? Because my father and my boyfriend, who's now my husband, the
Hmm.
reason why I knew we would get together is because they both had the same favorite stooge."
Oh.
So I said, Curly, Curly.
uh,
Everybody likes Curly.
everybody likes Curly.
And she said, no, Dad and my boyfriend's favorite stooge is Larry. And I said,
Oh.
Larry? What's so funny about Larry? He goes, well, you need Larry there to kind of balance the other two out. He's
Uh-huh.
the middleman. So I said, so okay, you both like both of you like Larry. That's great. So then I
Oh.
said, so then she turns to me and goes, I guess I'm her older brother. She said, I guess Curly is your favorite. I said, no. If you must know, Mo is my favorite. And then she said, yeah, yeah, I thought an egotistical, autocratic bully like yourself would think Mo is the funniest.
Oh God!
Donald Trump is President Mo. When you think
President
of
Mo.
that.
He's got the hairstyle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Speaking of hairstyles, if your barber ever says, "Who is your favorite stooge?" Get out of that barber chair.
I mean, I think the only one who had good hair was Shem. But
Well, they actually, if you see their home movies and stuff, or their appearances, like on the mic,
yes,
they actually comb their hair like regular people. Then when the
yes,
cameras were going, they put the
they
bangs
do,
and
yeah,
and the hair, and
yeah.
they accentuated that hair, which is great,
It
because
is
if
great.
you're laughing at someone's hair, you're laughing
Oh
already.
yeah, oh yeah. And what's funny when we're talking about Larry
Yeah.
is every time when Mo would like pull some hair out of Larry's head, it's like, golly, how much hair is Larry have?
They the Three Stooges, very important. You know that the Three Stooges were you were telling me part of the history, and then it goes on.
Uh-huh.
They by the time television happened, they didn't they were actually fired, I think, from
Yes, they
Columbia,
were.
and
Hmm.
they didn't have anything to go. And then all of a sudden, within like a year or two, they were showing the old stuff on television, the early television, because they
Hmm.
needed something to fill in, the afternoons and stuff, and the kids were watching, and they became big hits again.
Uh-huh.
So they had to get a new guy. They had to get Curly Joe,
Curly
and they
Joe,
started making
yes.
movies, which actually the movies were pretty good.
Yeah.
They meet Hercules, and they go around the world in a days, and they
Uh-huh.
go in Three Stooges in orbit. I saw all those movies. What was this? Stop, look, and laugh, and they would and then that carried on up until I think their last movie was The Outlaws is coming, a western with Adam West is in it,
Hmm.
and then after that I think somebody got a stroke. Maybe it was Larry, and then they had a hard
Yeah,
time getting
I think
getting
Larry did
back
get a
back
stroke.
on
Yeah, yeah.
back on track again.
Because was that with Adam West? That was before Batman, right?
Oh yeah, it was before, but
Okay,
then
I thought
nobody.
so. Okay.
In fact, part of I think him getting cast in Batman was he was that funny guy that was in that Three Stooges movie.
Oh.
You see him in a lot of stuff, Adam West. Yeah.
Yeah.
All my life growing up, the Three Stooges, Batman.
Hmm.
Some woman once asked me. I noticed a girlfriend asked me, what is it with you guys and the Three Stooges? You seem to all love the Three Stooges. You all seem to like Elvis Presley, and you love the Three Stooges. Why is that?" And so I said, "There's a reason why. There's a very good reason why all men seem to like the Three Stooges and
Hmm.
Elvis. And one is Elvis Presley. He's a good-looking man. He's a great singer. He's a good actor. He seems like a very charming guy. He
Hmm.
is what all men aspire to be.
Yes.
The Three Stooges. The Three Stooges is who we are.
Oh,
we're not. We're
perfect,
not. We're not as.
perfect, perfect analogy. Yes.
Someone actually, I can tell you another thing about the Three Stooges is
Uh-huh.
that we're talking about Trump and political leaders, and there's a whole routine. I think David Steinberg is about it. I'm gonna not give you that, but
Uh-huh.
he says that almost every world leader is a or political person is a member of the Three Stooges in their own way, and I believe that it goes even further than that.
Uh-huh.
Every person in a family is a stooge. The old eldest. I'm the eldest in my family. I'm the Mo of my family.
Oh
I'm
my
always barking orders and yelling at people and
goodness.
everything. The middle child is Larry. Obviously he doesn't really want to cause any trouble, but he's
Right,
right in the thick of it.
right.
And then the youngest is obviously
Curly.
Curly.
Yeah.
He just doesn't care, just acting crazy. And next time you see a family of little kids or something, you will see their identities. There's the
Yeah.
Mo, there's the Larry, there's the
It's Curly.
Curly.
Oh, but
Right.
yeah, it was shocking. I think it was 19, I don't know the years. I think it was
Yeah.
68, 67 when I think when Larry had the stroke,
Hmm.
and then he was sent to the hospital
Yeah.
in Hollywood.
Hmm.
What's that famous
The old
hospital?
folks home, the Hollywood actors home or something.
Actors Home. Thank
And he
you.
was, from what I gather, he was available for anyone who
Yes.
could go there. He would actually sit and talk with them. And there's actually a long interview, like a half-hour interview on YouTube,
Yes.
just Larry, talk. But I understand Larry didn't have a whole lot to say. He would just, I mean, being of old age and a stroke, he basically
Hmm.
told the same stories over and over
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. I forgot who was the superstar. I don't remember his name, but he was talking about
Mhm.
calling up the Actors Home
Yeah,
because he's a big Stooge fan when he was
yeah,
a kid. And he talked to Larry. He actually got a chance to
yeah,
talk to Larry. And Larry would talk to him and say, "Hey, this is great talking to you and
yeah.
everything. Hey, you want Mo's number too?"
Yeah. There
It's
was
like, yeah, I want Mo's number. So he actually called Mo and says, Mo was like, "Who is this?" It's like, "Oh, I'm a big Stooge fan and everything." It's like, "Oh, Larry gave me his number, did he?"
Get out of here.
But no, actually, Mo did talk to
Oh,
him. And I don't know if it was Alan Thicke or might have been Alan Thicke.
who
I
called
don't
up
remember.
Mo?
I
And
think so.
I know that Dick Van Dyke became in the '60s became friends with a lot of these old timers,
Oh
and
yes,
he became friends with Stan Laurel, whose number was still in the phone book, and
Stan Laurel.
rarely
Yes.
did people call it because they didn't. Oh, that must be another Stan Laurel. It was actually
Mhm.
Stan Laurel, and he was very sad because he still a lot of these guys still want to perform. They're just
Mhm.
either old age or no one's hiring them. No one, a lot of these
Mm.
guys never announce their retirement because I'm not retiring.
Yeah. Why should I retire?
I mean, but they had been retired.
Yeah, they had to retire
Yeah,
because Laurel and Hardy, they were a comedy duo for what, 40
yeah.
years?
They went from silent movies to the mid 1950s. There's a really
Mm.
good movie that came out last year with John C. Riley and Steve Coogan, which shows the last thing they ever did, which was go to England and do a live shows.
Mm.
And I mean, it's not a big ending, but the Hardy gets sick, and they pretty much realize at the end of it, even though they lived a few more, and then Laurel lived another 10 years.
Mhm.
That was pretty much the end, and that was the end. But it's kind of neat seeing a dramatization of the end. John C. Riley is so good as Hardy. He wears a fat suit. He doesn't even look like
Mhm.
himself. Now the other guy, Steve Coogan, looks just like Laurel and sounds just like Laurel. It's a British film actually, and it's all
Oh,
British locations, and it takes place in England. But yeah, Stan and Ollie is the name of the film. You can
Stan
get
and
that. You can
Ollie,
get it
yes.
on video. And so anyway, Dick Van Dyke. Story goes, Dick Van Dyke was in New York. He would film a show in California, the Dick Van Dyke Show in the
Mm-hmm.
early '60s,
Mm-hmm.
and he went to New York, I think, to appear on like the Jack Parr show or something.
Uh-huh.
And he showed up, and he was stopped in the street by some guy wearing a suit and tie and a big hat, and he was seemed very friendly. He goes, "I love your show. I really think you're the greatest."
Uh-huh.
And he says, "Well, thank you. He's a fan. Thank you very much." And then he goes, I think, to the Friars Club, and the Friars Club, a guy at the Friars Club said, Harpo was here, and he was talking about you and saying how great you were and everything. He goes, "Yeah, I'd like to meet Harpo." He goes, "Yeah, he's been telling everybody he met you." He goes, and he says, "That was Harpo Marx." He didn't realize he was expecting the guy with the
Right.
curly hair
Curly hair and
and
everything.
that suit and not talking. So he met.
Yeah.
So he didn't even know he met Harpo. He just thought he was a fan.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder if you and I become big stars.
Yes.
It, we could you could go to a star's table at a restaurant,
Uh-huh.
and he may not know who we are at all.
That's right.
Or he might know exactly who we are, and he'll say, why does that guy think he's such a big shot? He won't come to George Clooney's table."
That's right.
I didn't have to be invited to George
Yes.
Clooney's table. Brad Pitt's table.
Brad Pitt's table is like, what that guy thinks he's better than me. It's like I should be going over to his table, you
I was
know.
I was surprised when I was on the radio, I would meet famous Irish people in
Mm-hmm.
Ireland. No, I wouldn't meet them, but I'd hear from their friends. They listen to your show all the time. I said, "Really? Little me? They listen to the show?"
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
Bono from you too. Liam, not that big, but usually
Right,
people
right,
that you would know in Ireland would
right.
listen to my show.
That's pretty cool.
And what? once on Facebook,
Uh-huh.
I take pictures at concerts and all.
Yeah.
Fred Schneider of the B-52s liked my picture of the B-52. So, oh, he knows I'm out there.
All right. Fred
I've never met him.
Schneider.
I took
Yeah.
his picture on stage, but
Uh,
he was resourceful enough to go on the internet and try to find as many pictures of him as possible. And he found mine and liked it. Fred Schneider likes your photo.
Oh, okay.
Are you on Twitter? Because people tell me that celebrities will
No.
actually like you on Twitter, and you might be just a regular person.
No, I'm never on Twitter because Twitter is more like a piece of garbage to me. That's when I can do all of my filth. I can't fit it all in 120 characters.
My problem with I'm not on Twitter, but my problem is I can't think of something witty to say every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm on Facebook, but I think of one or two witty things a day,
Yeah.
which I can do, but not every
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Not every 10 minutes.
I'm not Maury Amsterdam. I'm not
Yeah.
Robin Williams that I could just crank this stuff out.
You know what? I'm going back to the trio, the Three Stooges.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think in your mind
Mm-hmm.
that there was any other famous comedy bit that probably could rival them?
Oh, you mean today?
Not today. Let's just say throughout history.
The Three Stooges were real singular. I understand that they tried the Russians tried their own type of Three Stooges, which I
Oh,
guess may have had some success in Russia, but I don't know. But they still like the translated or dubbed
dub.
American versions
Yeah.
in the Russian. And then I heard that in Russia they would show video of the Three Stooges and say this is what Americans are like. All Americans are acting this way. I know that the Japanese. This is now this. I don't know about that. I mean, I
Okay,
just heard
okay,
that, but I
okay.
do know that the Japanese used to run that movie about from World War II about basic training with Abbott and Costello
Yes.
called Buck Privates. You
Yes.
get the song "Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy" out of it
Uh-huh.
by the Andrews Sisters, and that they would show that as part of Japanese propaganda. This is all Americans. These are the type of soldiers Americans are getting. Abbott and Costello.
Oh.
Which is weird because those
Oh.
movies are funny movies, and
Yeah.
American audiences would see them and
Uh,
laugh at them.
uh,
But then in Japan during the war, they would say, "Yeah, it wasn't a comedy; it was a documentary.
yeah.
It was a drama."
Oh
the
man.
I think part of being in comedy or being in show business or being in anything in the world, you try to make yourself different from everyone else. And almost
Yes.
all the comedy groups we've
Yes.
mentioned tonight have been singularly significant.
Because I was thinking, yeah, Three Stooges, Laurel and Hardy, and I know we haven't talked about, and I know a little bit about Amos and
We'll
Andy.
talk about that next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about
Amos and
them next.
Andy were one of them were two white guys doing black dialogue, and they were one of them was from Richmond.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
and they were big deals in their day. I mean, they not all this stuff you hear today that it's bad.
Mhm.
I mean, but in their day they were actually the most popular stuff. Yeah.
Oh.
Though sadly there was no real stigma attached to blackface.
No.
It's something we throw now on on that. Speaking of blackface,
Yeah.
I just found this out
Yeah.
a few months ago. There was a show in England on the BBC for like
Uh-huh.
20 years
Uh-huh.
called the Minstrel Hour, and you can
What?
actually see videos of it, and it's just all, and it's not a terrible show, but it's kind of weird. All the women are not wearing blackface, but the
Uh-huh.
men are.
What?
Yeah, and they weren't, and it wasn't like popular blackface in America where they would try to sing like
The
Al
mammy
Jolson, Mammy,
tunes.
or
Yeah.
all these people. But they're it's basically just imagine it's like Tom Jones singing, but he would be wearing blackface,
Oh
or
my.
Engelbert
Okay.
Humperdinck wearing. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no reason why,
Yeah.
but they are, and this show was popular for 20 years.
I don't understand
And
it.
that now it's considered politically incorrect, and you
Yeah.
probably can't find a lot of that stuff. But like YouTube, everything gets pushed out of YouTube. Yeah, it always finds a way on YouTube to
Yes,
get on there.
always finds a way.
Yeah. So,
Ah.
yeah. But okay, Amos and Andy.
Mhm.
Uh, well, I'm talking about the radio show. When
Right.
it went to television, they actually got African American actors to play the
Yes,
parts,
yes.
and actually that is a funny show. It's just
Mhm.
it's not even in its day. I guess because of its history, it was
Yes.
considered controversial. It was on for
Mhm.
like 2 or 3 years, and then it was on. Then they canceled it. They were forced to cancel it at
Mhm.
CBS, and then it went on syndication for many years up until the mid 1960s when I was a
Mhm.
kid, and I would watch it and laugh at it, and now you go on YouTube, you can pretty much find all
Oh,
the
you can
episodes.
find anything.
And it's it's worth a look. It is some of those actors are. One of the actors used to be on 227.
Yeah,
Chester
yeah,
Hairston.
yes.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. Yep.
not he wasn't one of the main
No, it
actors, but
wasn't
he
the
was
main actor, but he
there.
was
But he was
there.
there. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
Chester Hairston from
Chester
two.
Harrison.
Well,
Yes.
not the 227. It was Amen.
Oh, I thought it was oh, yes,
Yeah, the
because he was
old
the
guy.
oldest preacher
Yeah,
or the oldest deacon.
yeah. He
Yes.
was quite the guy. He also wrote a famous Christmas song, "Mary's Boy Child," that
Ah.
Harry Belafonte had a hit with. It he's still here today
Oh
in
yeah.
gospel, spiritual Christmas song.
Which is now playing on our radio local station here in Richmond, even though they started it way before Thanksgiving, like in why don't they just start in Labor Day? You know, why not? But
I
anyway.
don't listen to any Christmas cheer or anything until I see Santa Claus at the end of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. First Thanksgiving, then Christmas.
Then Christmas.
In
Thank you.
fact, in fact,
Learn that.
Thanksgiving is actually a good day because you actually got a little bit of Christmas with Santa Claus, but you usually see that in the morning, and then later that day
Yeah,
you actually celebrate Thanksgiving
that's
with
right.
Christmas in the kind of in the front of your mind. Oh, that's in the month's time.
Yeah. Thank you. Ah. Well,
Yeah.
Kevin, I tell you, it's been a wonderful hour as always.
Any sports news? You always have something to say
Yes, I
about
always
sports.
do gotta say something about sports. The NHL is supposed to come back in mid-January. The NBA is doing pregame right
Yes.
now in mid-December, and they'll come back 2 days before
All right.
Christmas. In
But
football, your
football,
Giants
we're in the
and
thick of it.
our Washington No Names are
Yeah.
in first place, but the Giants got the
Right
lead
now,
right now.
every week
Yeah,
changes.
every week changes, so keep an eye on that.
You could win the division with a 3-13 record.
Yeah.
Win the division, you won't get to any wild cards.
No, no wild cards.
But it must really frustrate the
Yes.
people up for the wild cards.
Oh,
Why
yes.
couldn't we be in that?
I know. Why couldn't we suck like that? And the Ohio State Michigan game has been canceled for the first time in like 85 years or something like
But
that.
for whatever reason.
Michigan got COVID, but
Oh, okay.
Ohio State is saying that they're ducking this game, which I might believe Ohio State because only Michigan had maybe 2 or 3 players. I heard they only got COVID,
Yeah.
and the rest are like taking a sabbatical.
Can't they? Do they have a bench? Don't they have people to replace them?
Yeah, I know. I thought that's what it was all about, but now that game won't
Okay.
commence. But
Well,
anyway,
yeah. What about oh the college basketball? Is that coming back?
yeah, college
March
basketball is being
Madness.
played right now. We don't know about March Madness. I would hate to say Virginia took it on the chin against San Francisco, but Virginia,
Defending champ
yeah, defending champs,
for
but
2 years. 2 years straight. I
two
don't think it's ever
years.
happened.
And San Francisco, I don't, and then they lose to, I forgot who else they played
Yeah.
the next night. But anyway, Virginia Tech beat Villanova, which shocked me, and I forgot another team who beat
Nothing
Villanova.
Virginia Tech does shocks me at all.
Yeah,
I went
that's
to
true.
UVA, so I just shake my head.
Just shake your head. Yeah. Shake your head.
No,
Shake
actually,
it.
Virginia Tech. My
Yeah.
my sister went
Yeah. And
there, and
like
some of my best friends went to Virginia Tech. But
went
my better friends.
to Virginia. And
Oh,
you
good. I
know,
went. Yeah.
hey, at least, and I went to nowhere. So
When
I have all friends who go everywhere.
somebody asked me what college did I go to, I said I went to the college of. I went to Hart Knocks, the College of Hart Knocks, the College of Hart Knocks.
Heart knocks. Oh,
That's whatever. Yeah.
Well, as always, we thank you for joining us on the Vinny Mac Show. Kaye Lazar, I'm Vinny Mac.
Me?
And yes, you, Kaye Lazar.
Oh, by the way,
me.
happy Hanukkah. This is my Hanukkah tie. It's got dreidels
Yes.
all over it.
Yes, that looks nice.
I was wearing
Happy
this shirt, another thing. It's blow
the
pop
popsicles. Yeah, the
popsicles.
popsicles again.
Yeah, I was thinking of these popsicles. They're blue, white,
Uh-huh.
and red.
Uh-huh.
They're not. They said a very Christmassy shirt. I said, no, they're not.
No.
This summertime. And
Yes.
I said, blue, white, and red popsicles. Are they really that good? The blue and the red and the white all taste the same. You would think the blue would taste. I don't know what the blue would taste like.
Yeah,
Blueberry, red
blueberries
would
and
taste like strawberry and cherry.
yeah.
White, I think, I don't know what it would taste like. But it all just tastes like what? It's like Lifesavers. It used to be all 5 flavor ice cream.
Yes.
Lifesavers all tasted the same.
They all taste the same.
Now I think they changed them a bit, but
It's
now
about
they have a
time.
cherry. Yeah, about time. So happy
Happy
Hanukkah,
Hanukkah.
the dreidels
Yes.
and everything. So
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy New
we're
Year,
in the thick of
Happy
it.
Hanukkah, and great Kwanzas to everybody.
Yes.
Happy holidays to everybody. And once again, our show has been sponsored by Skunk Removing Soap. We always remember get rid of them skunks out of your life, remove them skunks. Also sponsored by, actually, we have a new diet supplementer.
Yeah.
We now got, True Fat went away.
Yeah.
Now we got Slim Fat. So Slim Fat is now our new sponsor.
You mean those milkshakes people drink?
Yeah.
Yeah, that make you lose weight.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. I once drank. I once went to. I was with the Starbucks with their milkshakes. I drank about 5 of them, thinking I'd lose weight. I just gained weight. Oh, a different type of
Yeah, different type of thing. And always, once again, Gamblers Anonymous. Yes, you definitely will need Gamblers Anonymous. Yeah, some people you definitely do need that, and we're pointing to you.
Anonymous. All right.
Anonymous.
I had a wonderful time.
Yes, me
Thank
too.
you.
Yes.
But this wasn't it. No. I had a wonderful time. Thanks for inviting me.
Yes, sir.
All right, and all say hi to both my friends and all of his friends.
That's right. we each got one friend, so we're gonna bring on the next guy, and we'll see you once again in the Vinny Mac Show. Until then, bye bye.